I might be slightly obsessed with mirrors. Not to look at myself, but because they are one of the easiest ways to make a room feel instantly bigger and brighter. In this video, I will show you how I turned an existing mirror into this beautiful copper patina mirror frame using a patina kit. I did make one mistake along the way, but it turned out really well in the end. This is the mirror as it started out. I'd had it for years. I like the texture of the frame, but the silver and the shiny finish always felt a bit dated to me. So when I spotted a copper patina kit in a craft shop, I immediately thought, mirror makeover. This is the copper patina kit I used. This one is from Fleur. The kit cost about 25 euros. It has 3 parts. Let me explain them using my test piece. So before touching the mirror, I tested everything on an old vase first. I had already painted the vase a beige and copper base, so now the patina kit. The kit has 3 steps: a copper pigment paste, a reactant that creates the patina effect, and a varnish that seals everything. Test complete. This is how the vase turned out. I was happy with it, so onto the mirror. First, some prep. I taped off the mirror. Then I lightly sanded the frame to rough up the surface. I sanded after the taping so I wouldn't accidentally scratch the glass. Then I cleaned everything properly before painting. Now step 1, the copper pigment paste. This is the first coat going on, and this is where I made my mistake. I realized pretty quickly that this isn't really paint. It's more like a pigment paste, and it doesn't really give much coverage on its own. I hadn't noticed this on the vase because I had already painted the base copper, and also the vase had a rough surface, unlike the mirror frame, which was still quite smooth even after sanding. With hindsight, I should have stopped right here and painted a copper acrylic base first. If you're doing this yourself, I recommend you do that. It would have saved a lot of time and pigment. Instead, I kept going. This was a mistake and meant I ended up doing 4 to 5 coats. That used around 2/3 of the jar and stretched over a couple of days because of the drying time in between coats. Definitely a punishment for impatient people like me. Once I finally had enough coverage, I moved on to step 2, the reactant. I applied it unevenly with a small sponge, literally just half a kitchen sponge. Definitely wear gloves here and keep this stuff away from kids and pets. I covered the entire frame with this because I love the patina color. If you wanted a more subtle effect, you could just apply it in certain areas. I then went back in with a small brush to make some small refinements and get into some of the grooves. This is what it looked like over the first hour as it slowly reacted. I left it react for just under 24 hours in total. The next day, once I was happy with the patina effect, I applied the varnish. I brushed on the first coat like so. This stops the oxidation process and protects the surface like any varnish. By the way, if you're into practical DIY upgrades like this, feel free to like this video. It really helps a new channel like mine. Thank you! The varnish is matte. It softens the patina effect slightly and everything dries a bit lighter than before. I added a second coat after about 6 hours and left it to dry overnight. Once everything was dry, it was ready to go back on the wall. I removed the tape and cleaned the glass. A little paint had seeped through, but that was easy to remove with a plastic card. To hang it back up, I marked the eyelets with painter's tape on the mirror and did the same on the wall. Line it up. Done. Easy. Here's the finished result. This was the mirror before, shiny silver and black. And this is it now. I really love how it turned out. The matte finish feels so much calmer, and the patina gives it depth and texture without being loud. I've done quite a few mirror projects over the years since it's a bit of an obsession of mine. So if you'd like to see another one next, like how I turned an old window into a mirror, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching!